Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libator. Also ahead, a big day for Decision 2022. We'll take a look at a heated congressional race that could determine which party holds the House majority. But first, we want to get a check of your Storm Tracker 2 forecast. For that, meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us here on this Wednesday morning to get us started. Good morning.
Good morning, Gary. So we are starting out with the heaviest rain this morning, but we will look to see this rain decrease throughout the day. Just a few showers lingering around, and then we do dry out tonight.
Seems like a pattern we're in.
Yes, we are. We have been seeing rain for the past couple of days, but the sun will come back in tomorrow, which is good.
About time.
Yes. So let's take a look now at the York-Full Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. At this point, we are seeing heavier bands of rain moving through the Mohawk Valley. A few isolated showers up north of the Mohawk Valley, but this looks to be the heaviest rain of the day. The rain will slowly start to move out, and we will just see areas of a few lingering showers up and through the afternoon before we do dry out this evening. But today is going to be cool, and it is going to be breezy with cloudy skies. Around noon, temperatures will just be in the mid to upper 50s, and around 3 p.m., that is when we will reach our high temperature of right near 60. So on the cooler side today, and it will be a little bit breezy once again. The rain does look to continue, but not as much as yesterday, and we will slowly start to lighten up in terms of rain throughout the day. We do dry out tonight with dry weather coming back in for tomorrow, and the sun looks to make a return as well. And overall, looking at the weekend, it looks pretty nice, a mix of clouds and sunshine. We will warm up a little bit more as well. But for today, we are tracking a few lingering showers with cloudy skies, cooler weather and breezy conditions. And I will be talking a little bit more about the dry weather and the weekend coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Thanks. Don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away. Breaking overnight, Hurricane Ian gaining strength and still barreling towards Florida. High winds, heavy rains, and a dangerous storm surge. But we want to show you first we want to show you some video we just got out of Fort Myers in South Florida. The scene just hours ago. Cars stretched for miles as people living there are listening to the evacuation orders. Some from Fort Myers are heading inland to the city of Estero, where the Hertz Arena has been made into a makeshift shelter. And the time to prepare has run out. The storm is expected to bring powerful winds, heavy rains, and a dangerous storm surge, as we just mentioned. Several counties had tornado warnings overnight. The storm is expected to hit the Gulf Coast this afternoon as a Category 3 or possibly a Category 4 hurricane. NBC's Chris Pallone is on the ground for us in Tampa with the latest.
Overnight, Hurricane Ian brought high winds and heavy rain to the Florida Keys and spawned several tornado warnings across South Florida. State officials making one last plea before landfall.
I implore, I urge everyone that is in an evacuation zone, that has been asked to evacuate, the time is now. You must evacuate now.
About 2.5 million Floridians have been ordered to evacuate. At times, highways out of the southwest Gulf Coast were bumper to bumper. The Tampa airport packed with people trying to get on the last flights out, though not everyone was excited to leave their homes.
And you're not planning on leaving that house?
No way.
Why not?
Because I like it there.
Others, though, were happy to head to one of the many public shelters on higher ground.
I was so afraid either way. I didn't know what to do.
State officials fear Ian will bring down trees and power lines, flash floods, and devastating storm surge to a wide swath of the state.
We can rebuild property, we can fix infrastructure, you can fix your home. You don't get a mulligan when your personal safety is at risk.
They're urging people in the storm's path not to make a fatal mistake.
Mother Nature wins every single time.
A monster threat now arriving. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Tampa.
Chris, thanks. And as you can see, Hurricane Ian in real time right here. You can see this massive storm churning ever so slowly. All eyes are on Florida, and Washington is watching closely as well. Coming up in our next half hour, NBC's Drew Petrimo has been talking to congressional leaders on how the nation's capital will provide support to the people of Florida. Again, that's coming up at 5:30 this morning here on News Channel 2 at sunrise. New this morning, a man from the town of Lee is facing some serious charges after
Well, I'll go back. Taking a closer look at Hurricane Ian. As of right now, it is a Category 3 storm right off the coast of Fort Myers, and it is moving towards Fort Myers right now. It is possible it could reach Category 4 by the time it does get there. Maximum wind speeds at this point are 120 miles per hour, and it is going to affect Central Florida with excessive rainfall, possibly some tornadoes mixed in there, and flooding. So we are keeping an eye out on this just for Florida in general. The track of the hurricane, as of right now, it is a Category 3 could become a Category 4 at this point, reaching Fort Myers, and it is going to kind of move up the coast towards Orlando, but it is going to be in a depression at this point, just reaching a low pressure center by Saturday in the Charleston and the Charlotte area. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. There's a lot going on in Washington this week, including
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are tracking some showers and clouds and fog this morning, but we do look to dry out from everything tonight. So let's take a look now at our Cavity Tower camera. We can't see much. There is patchy fog this morning, so be careful when driving, as well as some scattered showers that are heavy in some spots. So be careful for ponding on the roadways. And taking a look now at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The heaviest of rain is in the Mohawk Valley, moving south at this point, with a few isolated showers north of the Mohawk Valley. But this looks to be the heaviest of rain of the day. After this does clear out, which looks to be this afternoon, a few lingering showers are going to occur. And then we do look to dry out tonight. That low pressure system that has been affecting us has since moved off into the northeast. Now we are just tracking this cold front that is moving through. That does look to move through by tonight. We will be mostly cloudy throughout today, but once again drying out by tonight. And we are going to remain on the cooler side. So at this point, we are in the 40s and 50s, just 52 degrees in Dowdesville and Little Falls and in Utica, 48 degrees in Big Moose, and looking to the south, 51 degrees in Cooperstown and 48 degrees in Norwich. The high temperature today looks to just reach the upper 50s, so it is going to be a little bit on the chillier side as well as a little bit breezy. So for this morning, it is likely we are going to be seeing our heaviest of rain this morning, and then that will continue into the afternoon with a few lingering showers, but by later on this evening and tonight, we do look to dry out with dry weather coming in for tomorrow. Tomorrow we will start out mostly cloudy, but plenty of sunshine comes in for later on in the day, and the sun looks to continue through the rest of the week and into the weekend. But if you are going for the bike ride today, the ride for missing children, it is going to be a little bit gloomy, a little bit damp with some showers, especially in the morning and afternoon, but the showers do look to lighten up by later on this evening. It is going to be on the cooler side, temperatures just in the upper 50s and a little bit breezy, around 8 to 12 miles per hour for the wind speed. So just be careful for wet roadways. And once again, it is going to be a little bit cooler for that bike ride. But looking ahead to the weekend, we warm up a little bit. Highs will be in the low 60s for both Saturday and Sunday, and a mixture of sun and clouds for both of those days. So on our skycast for today, cloudy. The rain will lighten up throughout the day for a few isolated showers, but by tonight we will start to see a decrease in clouds overnight. And tomorrow, starting out with some clouds, but clouds will decrease for plenty of sunshine, but it will remain on the chilly side with highs just in the upper 50s. Overnight Thursday into Friday is when we can see our second chance of frost. Temperatures will drop into the mid to upper 30s overnight that night, but on Friday we will warm up a little bit more with highs in the low 60s. As for today, though, lingering showers this morning and afternoon before we dry out. It is going to remain cool and chilly with breezy conditions, and overnight clouds will start to decrease. Sunshine comes in for tomorrow, and dry weather lingers into the weekend. We also look to warm up into the weekend as well with highs in the lower to mid 60s, Gary.
So let's just get through today, and then tonight it starts to dry out.
Yes, it will dry out tonight, and tomorrow will be pretty nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The time now is 5:23. This half hour, I'm Gary Libator. A very busy morning here at News Channel 2. But first, let's get a check of your forecast. Meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us now on this Wednesday morning to get us all started. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Gary. We are starting out with the heaviest of rain this morning, and then the rain will start to lighten up throughout the day, and then we'll be dry by tonight.
Yeah, that little spot below Geneva there looks a little scary, but not coming our way.
Yes, not looking to come our way. Good. So let's take a look now at the Yorkville Battery Storm Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. At this point, we are tracking moderate to heavy showers just south of Utica at this point. But once this rain does move through, lingering showers will occur into the afternoon, but we will dry out by this evening. It is going to remain on the cooler side today. High temperatures just reaching the upper 50s around 3 p.m. It also is going to be a little breezy and cloudy, so remaining cool with a few lingering showers, but good news is that we do dry out tonight. So today, some rain continues this morning. Just be careful for ponding on the roadways, but we do dry out tonight with dry weather coming in tomorrow. We do start out mostly cloudy tomorrow, but clouds will decrease for sunshine to come in later on in the day. And overall, looking ahead to the weekend, it's looking pretty nice with the mix of clouds and sun and warmer weather. So for today, expect highs just in the upper 50s, clouds, a few lingering showers and breezy conditions, and I will be talking about the dry weather and the weekend coming up. Back to you, Gary.
All right, Hannah, we'll see you in about 10 minutes. The Ride for Missing Children is set to kick off bright and early this morning.
Welcome back. This morning and afternoon is going to feel a little bit gloomy with cloudy skies, cooler weather, and some showers. But by later on today, we will start to see some peaks of sunshine as we do dry out. And then tomorrow and Friday are two very good days to spend outside. A little bit cooler tomorrow with highs just in the 50s. But Friday, we will start to warm up to the low 60s once again, both days seeing partly cloudy skies. So for the next 2 days, tomorrow and Friday, partly cloudy skies are expected with high temperatures in the 50s tomorrow and in the low 60s on Friday. And overnight into Friday, that is our next chance for some frost as overnight lows fall into the mid 30s. So frost is definitely likely Thursday into Friday of this week. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. The Clinton Central School District
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting off with a few scattered showers, clouds, and some patchy fog this morning, but we will clear out from the showers tonight. So let's take a look now at our Cavi tower camera. We can't see much at all. Once again, patchy fog this morning, so be careful of that when driving, as well as be careful for ponding on the roadways, an area where there is heavy rain at this point. So taking a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 at Doppler radar, there are areas of heavy rain just south of Utica, a few isolated showers north of the Mohawk Valley, and some heavier rain moving to the southern valleys here this morning. But the good news is that the heaviest of rain looks to happen this morning. The rain will slowly start to die down throughout the day, seeing just a few showers this afternoon before we dry out tonight. So that low pressure system that has been lingering over us has since moved off into the northeast at this point. Now we are just waiting for this cold front to move through. And once that moves through, we will dry out this evening. But we are starting out a bit chilly once again this morning, 40s and 50s. We have 48 degrees in Big Moose, 52 degrees in Dowdesville, Little Falls, and in Utica. And looking to the south, we have 51 degrees in Cooperstown and 49 degrees in Norwich. We will reach just the upper 50s for the high temperature for today, which is below average, so it is going to feel a bit chilly and it is going to be breezy. So for this morning, we are seeing a few scattered showers, and into the afternoon, just a few lingering showers are possible. The rain does start to lighten up, and then by tonight, we will be dry, seeing a few peaks of sunshine even, and then tomorrow, we will completely dry out and those clouds will decrease. So if you were going to the bike ride today for the Ride for Missing Children, just be careful for any ponding on the roadways that are going to be left over. But as of this morning and into the afternoon, we will be seeing scattered showers, the rain slowly starting to lighten up throughout the day, and we will be dry by tonight with temperatures just in the mid to upper 50s, and it is going to be a little bit breezy, 8 to 12 miles per hour wind speeds. We will start to warm up even for the weekend, so tomorrow we dry out. We will remain dry for the weekend with a mix of clouds and sun and high temperatures in the 60s. So as for today, high temperatures just in the 50s. The rain will really start to lighten up by tonight, and it is going to be cloudy and breezy throughout the day with overnight lows falling into the mid 40s. Now as for tomorrow, we start out cloudy and then those clouds will decrease for sunshine throughout the day. High temperatures reaching just the upper 50s, but we will start to warm up heading into the weekend. So as for Friday, we will remain partly cloudy with high temperatures in the low 60s. But Thursday night into Friday, that is our next chance for seeing some frost. So as for today, a few showers this morning. Showers do linger, and then we will see a few peaks of sunshine later on. It is going to be cool and breezy, and tonight clouds will start to decrease for partly cloudy skies coming in for tomorrow. A little bit cooler once again, highs just in the mid-50s, and we will warm up into the 60s over the weekend. News Channel 2 at Sunrise continues after the break.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libator. Also ahead, a big day for Decision 2022 in Michigan. We'll take a look at a heated congressional race that could determine which party holds the House majority. But first, let's get a check of your Storm Tracker 2 forecast. For that, meteorologist Hannah Evans in the Weather Center with a look at what we need to know to plan our day ahead. Good morning.
Good morning, Gary. So we are seeing the heaviest of rain here this morning, and then the rain will slowly start to taper off throughout the day, and we will be dry tonight.
Let's put it behind us.
Yes, dry weather is coming in for a long period of time.
Good.
So let's take a look now at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. At this point, we are tracking scattered showers. There is some ponding on the roadways as well, so just be careful, as well as patchy fog this morning. But the showers will start to taper off throughout the day. We will still remain a little bit cool, though, with just around lunchtime, temperatures being in the upper 50s and a high temperature just of 59 degrees at 3 p.m. So on the cooler side with cloudy skies and breezy conditions throughout the day. The rain does look to continue, but it does start to taper off, and by tonight we will be mostly dry with dry weather and sunshine coming back in for tomorrow. Even looking ahead to the weekend, it is looking pretty nice and dry with a mix of clouds and sun, and it does look to get a little bit warmer with temperatures in the 60s. But as for today, high temperatures just in the upper 50s, breezy conditions and showers lingering into the evening. And I will be talking about the dry weather coming in as well as the weekend coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away. Breaking overnight and still barreling towards Florida. High winds, heavy rains, and a dangerous storm surge. We just got some video out of Fort Myers in South Florida from last night. This was much the scene last evening. Cars stretched for miles as people living there listening to the evacuation orders. Some from Fort Myers are actually heading inland to the city of Estero, where the Hertz Arena there has been made into a makeshift shelter. And the time to prepare has run out. Several counties had tornado warnings overnight. The storm is expected to hit the Gulf Coast this afternoon as a Category 3 or possibly a Category 4 hurricane. NBC's Chris Pallone is on the ground for us this morning in Tampa.
Overnight, Hurricane Ian brought high winds and heavy rain to the Florida Keys and spawned several tornado warnings across South Florida. State officials making one last plea before landfall.
I implore, I urge everyone that is in an evacuation zone, that has been asked to evacuate, the time is now. You must evacuate now.
About 2.5 million Floridians have been ordered to evacuate. At times, highways out of the southwest Gulf Coast were bumper to bumper. The Tampa airport packed with people trying to get on the last flights out, though not everyone was excited to leave their homes.
And you're not planning on leaving that house?
No way.
Why not?
Because I like it there.
Others, though, were happy to head to one of the many public shelters on higher ground.
So I was so afraid either way. I didn't know what to do.
State officials fear Ian will bring down trees and power lines, flash floods, and devastating storm surge to a wide swath of the state.
We can rebuild property, we can fix infrastructure, you can fix your home. You don't get a mulligan when your personal safety is at risk.
They're urging people in the storm's path not to make a fatal mistake.
Mother Nature wins every single time.
A monster threat now arriving. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Tampa.
Chris, thanks. And obviously the hurricane in real time right here. You can see this massive storm churning ever so slowly. All eyes on Florida, and Washington is watching as well. Coming up in our next half hour, NBC's Drew Petrimo has been talking to congressional leaders on how the nation will provide support to the people of Florida. Again, that's coming up at 5:30 here on News Channel 2 at Sunrise. New this morning, a man from the town of Lee is facing some serious charges after deputies say he assaulted his wife in
Welcome back. As of right now, Hurricane Ian is forming just aloft the coast of Tampa and the Fort Myers area. As of right now, it is a Hurricane 3, but looking to form into a Hurricane 4 possibly by the time it does hit Fort Myers, which will be later on this morning. And as of right now, it has wind speeds of up to 120 miles per hour. And the greatest affected areas are going to be in Central Florida, so we are keeping an eye out on this. Flash flooding is definitely possible during this, as well as excessive rainfall and possibly even a few tornadoes. So we are just keeping an eye out on this at this point. As of right now, it is moving towards the Fort Myers area, possibly becoming a Category 4 hurricane, going to move up towards Orlando. But as it is moving that way, it will be in depression, just becoming a strong low pressure system by the time it reaches North and South Carolina. Back to you, Gary.
Thanks a lot going on.
Central New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with clouds, a few showers and fog this morning, but the showers look to come to an end today. So let's take a look now at the Cavie Tower camera. You can't see much on our camera. We are experiencing patchy fog here this morning, so just be careful when driving, as well as be careful for any areas of ponding on the roadways. This is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. At this point, tracking a few isolated showers north of the Mohawk Valley, as well as a few showers moving towards the southern part, towards the southern valleys this morning. But this looks to be the heaviest rainfall of the day. The rain will slowly start to taper off as we head into the afternoon and evening, and we do look to be dry by tonight. That low pressure system that had been sitting over us for the past couple of days has since moved off into the northeast. Now we are just waiting for this cold front to move through, and after it does move through, we will be dry, which looks to be tonight, and the sun returning tomorrow. But according to our sky watchers this morning, we are pretty chilly to start, in the 40s and 50s, just 46 degrees in Old Forge and 52 degrees in Clinton. Looking to the south, we have 49 degrees in Cooperstown and in Lawrence this morning. So we will reach near 60 for the high temperature today, but that is on the cooler side, along with cloudy skies and breezy conditions. So the chance of rain remains at just a chance for the rest of today. So this morning and early afternoon, our best chance for seeing some rain. But by later afternoon into the evening, the rain really starts to taper off for just a few showers, and then by tonight we look to be dry. Heading into tomorrow, clouds look to decrease and sunshine looks to return. But if you were going on the bike ride today for the Ride for Missing Children, it is going to be a little bit damp to start, and it is going to be chilly and breezy. So showers are expected this morning and afternoon. Temperatures just in the 50s throughout the day, with the wind speed around 8 to 12 miles per hour. So be careful for ponding on the roadways, especially this morning. But we do dry out tomorrow, and we look to warm up for the weekend. The weekend is looking pretty nice with a mix of sun and clouds and temperatures in the 60s. But as for the rest of today, heavy rain will slowly start to come to an end to just a few showers. The rain will really start to taper off tonight, and high temperatures will just reach the upper 50s. Tomorrow will start out mostly cloudy, but clouds will make way for sunshine. It is going to make cool, though, with highs just in the upper 50s tomorrow. Tomorrow overnight into Friday is our next chance for some frost, as overnight lows fall into the mid to upper 30s. But we warm up a little bit more for more sunshine on Friday with highs in the low 60s. As for today, though, highs are just in the upper 50s. A few showers this morning and afternoon with breezy conditions and cloudy skies. But tonight we will dry out and start to see a decrease in cloud cover. So for tomorrow, we still remain on the cooler side, highs in the mid 50s, but we start to warm up for Friday and the weekend into the 60s, Gary.
So those riders facing a little rain this morning.
Yes, this morning, early afternoon, I would just be careful when riding, but it's also going to be a little bit chilly today.
Yeah, they got a tough road ahead of them.
Yes.
Hannah, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore. It is a very busy morning here, so let's start right off with a look at your weather. Meteorologist Hannah Evans is in, and it is a bit rainy out there this morning.
Yes, so just seeing a few scattered showers this morning, but the rain will lighten up throughout the day, and we will dry out tonight for a nice stretch of dry weather.
Yeah, I think 3 rainy days in a row is enough.
Yes, that's enough for us.
Bye-bye.
Bye, rain. So let's take a look now at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. At this point, just a few scattered showers are moving through. I would just be careful when driving because there is fog and some areas of ponding on the roadways since it did rain a little bit last night. And today we will also remain on the cooler side. High temperatures will reach just right near 60 at around lunch, a little bit after. It also is going to be breezy, so a pretty chilly day ahead with cloudy skies and breezy conditions. The rain does look to continue for a little bit today, but it will start to taper off in the afternoon and come to an end by tonight. And tomorrow will be dry, so we will start out mostly cloudy, but clouds will make way for sunshine for most of the day tomorrow. And a dry stretch of weather does come in, especially for the weekend. A pretty nice weekend ahead with a mix of clouds and sun, and we will also get a little bit warmer over the weekend. But as for today, on the cooler side, highs are just going to be in the upper 50s, a few showers, but otherwise cloudy skies and breezy. And then we'll be talking about the dry weather and the weekend coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. The ride for missing children is set to kick off bright and early this morning in just
Welcome back. This is a little update on Hurricane Ian. As of right now, it's Category 4 hurricane, and it does look like it's going to hit Fort Myers as at least a Category 4. The wind speeds are 155 miles per hour right now for the max sustained wind speeds, but if it does reach up to 157 miles per hour, that is a Category 5 hurricane. So we are keeping an eye on this, and hopefully everyone in Fort Myers is okay at this point. As it heads up towards Tampa and Orlando, it will start to depress in strength and become depression and reach as just a stronger low pressure system up in the Carolinas. But for us here, we're not looking at any rainfall from this. It is going to look dry over the next few days. So if you do want to spend some time outside, I would say later today, we do look to dry out. And as for tomorrow and Friday, yes, we are going to be seeing sunshine, and it is going to get a little bit better in terms of the weather with better conditions. But Thursday night into Friday is our next chance to see some frost. It does get pretty chilly with overnight lows in the mid to upper 30s. Back to you, Gary.
thanks. The Clinton Central School District Board.
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are tracking a few showers this morning, as well as clouds and patchy fog, but we do look to dry out by tonight. So let's take a look at the CAVV tower camera. We can't see much at this point. We are experiencing patchy fog up here on top of Smith Hill, so definitely be careful when driving, as well as be careful for areas of ponding on the roadways, because it did rain quite a bit overnight last night, and this morning we are still just tracking a few scattered showers in our area. The rain is looking to lighten up throughout the day for just a few showers this afternoon before we dry out by tonight. But this was all due to an area of low pressure that was kind of sitting over us. That has since moved out into the northeast, and at this point we're just waiting for this cold front to move through. Once it moves through, high pressure looks to come in and bring us dry weather with sunshine for the next few days. According to our Skywatchers this morning, we are pretty chilly to start. We are in the 40s and 50s, just 46 degrees in Old Forge and 52 degrees in Clinton. And looking to the south, we have 49 degrees in Cooperstown and in Lawrence. We will reach right near 60 today for the high temperature, but that is still below average for this time of year. And it is going to be a little bit chilly because it is going to be breezy with mostly cloudy skies. So at this point, just seeing a few isolated showers. The chance of rain just remains at a chance for the rest of the afternoon. Definitely not as much rain as we did see yesterday or the day before. And by tonight, a very low chance of rain comes in with dry weather coming in for Thursday. So if you were going to the bike ride today for the Ride for Missing Children, just have to worry about rain this morning and early afternoon, and just be careful for some ponding on the roadways. It is going to remain cloudy, a little bit on the cooler side with temperatures just in the 50s and a little bit breezy with 8 to 12 miles per hour wind speeds. So definitely just be careful when riding. Overall, it is kind of a gloomy day with these showers lingering around, but we do look to dry out by tonight. Even looking ahead to the weekend, we do remain dry with a mix of sun and clouds, and we warm up a little bit more with highs in the low 60s. But as for today, some heavier rain has since moved out from early this morning. Just tracking a few isolated showers at this point, but overall, cloudy skies, breezy, and highs just near 60. Tonight, it will remain cloudy, so we will start out tomorrow mostly cloudy, but clouds will make way for sunshine tomorrow and highs in the upper 50s, so still remaining on the cooler side tomorrow, even with that sunshine. Tomorrow overnight into Friday is our next chance for frost, as overnight lows fall into the mid to upper 30s, but we do warm up a little bit more on Friday with highs in the low 60s. As for today, though, clouds, a few showers, breezy conditions, and cooler weather with highs right near 60. And tonight, clouds will start to decrease with an overnight low in the mid 40s. So for tomorrow, we will remain on the cooler side, but sun looks to come back in. Tomorrow overnight into Friday is our next chance for some frost, but we do look to warm up into the 60s with dry weather over the weekend, Gary.
And as we've been mentioning all morning, those riders have a tough go this morning.
Yes, so I would just be careful for some wet roadways and a few showers, but we do look to dry out later on in the afternoon, so it should get a little bit better.
Hopefully no storms for them, though.
Oh, no storms, no storms.
Anna, thanks. If you are just waking up, we have the day's top headlines you need to know. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libitor. Ahead, a big day for Decision 2022. We'll take a look at a very heated congressional race that could determine which party holds the House majority. First, let's get a check of your Storm Tracker 2 forecast. Meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us now on this Wednesday, and all eyes may be down on Florida, but many eyes, especially with the Ride for Missing Children, on our weather.
Yes, so Florida, as of right now, Hurricane Ian's Category 4, almost a Category 5. Luckily, that won't really be reaching us at this point, and we are just tracking a few showers for this morning, and we will dry out tonight for a stretch of dry weather.
So just be careful on those roadways, all those riders out there today.
Yes, there definitely is some ponding too this morning. So let's take a look now. If you are heading out to the bus stop or at this point going to the Ride for Missing Children, we are still seeing a few lingering showers, but they are starting to taper off. Temperatures are right around 50, and in the afternoon we will really start to dry out late afternoon with temperatures right near 60. So for today, just a few lingering showers this morning and early afternoon. It is going to remain cool, and it is going to be breezy with high temperatures in the upper 50s. And as for tonight, we will really dry out and see a decrease in cloud cover with an overnight low in the mid 40s. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Don't forget the Storm Tracker cast never more than 10 minutes away. Hurricane Ian gaining strength, still barreling towards Florida. High winds, heavy rains, and a dangerous storm surge. We want to show you some video from South Florida. This is Fort Myers, just the scene last night. As you can see, many people adhering to the evacuation orders. And some from Fort Myers are actually headed inland to the city of Estero, where Hertz Arena there has been made into a makeshift shelter. But it is time to prepare for the worst. The storm is expected to bring powerful winds, heavy rain, and a dangerous storm surge. As you heard Hannah mention that it's almost a Category 5 right now. Several counties actually had tornado warnings overnight, and one appears to have hit. Now, the storm is expected to hit the Gulf Coast this afternoon as a Category 4, now possibly a Category 5 hurricane. NBC's Chris Pallone is on the ground for us this morning in Tampa with the latest.
Overnight, Hurricane Ian brought high winds and heavy rain to the Florida Keys and spawned several tornado warnings across South Florida. State officials making one last plea before landfall.
I implore, I urge everyone that is in an evacuation zone, that has been asked to evacuate, the time is now. You must evacuate now.
About 2.5 million Floridians have been ordered to evacuate. At times, highways out of the southwest Gulf Coast were bumper to bumper. The Tampa airport packed with people trying to get on the last flights out, though not everyone was excited to leave their homes.
And you're not planning on leaving that house?
No way.
Why not?
Because I like it there.
Others, though, were happy to head to one of the many public shelters on higher ground.
So I was so afraid either way. I didn't know what to do.
State officials fear Ian will bring down trees and power lines, flash floods, and devastating storm surge to a wide swath of the state.
We can rebuild property, we can fix infrastructure, you can fix your home. You don't get a mulligan when your personal safety is at risk.
They're urging people in the storm's path not to make a fatal mistake.
Mother Nature wins every single time.
A monster threat now arriving. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Tampa.
Chris, thanks. And here is the latest image of the hurricane, the massive storm churning ever so slowly. All eyes on Florida, including from Washington. Coming up in our next half hour, NBC's Drew Petrimo has been talking to congressional leaders on how the nation will provide support to the people of Florida. Again, that's coming up at 6:30 here later on. Now, new this morning, a man from the town of Lee is facing some serious charges after deputies say he...
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out cloudy with a few showers as well as patchy fog, but the showers clear out by tonight. Let's take a look now at our Cooperstown camera. Once again, cloudy skies and patchy fog in areas of higher elevation. So just be careful when driving and for areas of ponding on the roadways because last night it did rain a little bit more. Taking a look now at our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, we are tracking just a few scattered showers and the rain is starting to lighten up at this time. It will taper out by late afternoon, early evening, and we will be seeing dry conditions coming back in for especially tonight and tomorrow. That low pressure system that was affecting us, bringing us unsettled weather for the past few days, has since moved out into the northeast, and now we are just waiting for this cold front to move through. And once it does, we will be seeing dry conditions. According to our sky watchers, we are starting out pretty chilly this morning. 46 degrees in Old Forge, 50 degrees in New Hartford. And looking to the south, we have 48 degrees in Milford and Evanston. We will reach right near 60 today, but that is below average for this time of year, and it is going to remain a little bit chilly because it is going to be breezy. So if you were going for the bike ride, for the Ride for Missing Children, temperatures are going to be ranging in the 50s throughout the day. A few showers are expected this morning and early afternoon, but we will dry out. But once again, it will be cloudy otherwise and breezy with 8 to 12 miles per hour wind speeds. We will dry out tomorrow, but still remain a little bit chilly, but over the weekend we start to get a little bit warmer. This weekend is looking pretty nice with a mix of clouds and some sun and high temperatures in the 60s. But as for today, some heavier rain did move out. At this point, just tracking a few scattered showers that look to taper off by early evening, so we will start to see dry out tonight. High temperatures today right near 60, but it will be a little bit breezy. Tonight, it will remain mostly cloudy, so starting off tomorrow, mostly cloudy, but clouds will make way for sunshine. It still remains on the cooler side, though, with highs in the upper 50s. As heading into Friday, that is our next chance overnight Thursday into Friday to see some frost as temperatures fall in the mid to upper 30s. But on Friday, we will warm up a little bit more with highs in the low 60s. As for today, though, a few showers this morning, breezy conditions, and a little bit on the cooler side with highs just in the upper 50s. And tonight, we will start to see a decrease in cloud cover as we dry out with a low in the mid 40s. So for tomorrow, we still will remain a little bit chilly with partly cloudy skies, highs in the upper 50s. But we will start to warm up for the weekend, and we do remain dry with high temperatures reaching the low to mid 60s.
The time to prepare or evacuate has run out in Florida as Hurricane Ian about to strike the Gulf Coast of Florida between Fort Myers and Tampa as a Category 4 hurricane approaching Category 5 status. While many heeded the warnings from government officials to get out or seek shelter, there are a few who are determined to ride out the storm in their own homes. NBC's Chris Pallone joins us now from Tampa with more on today's top story at noon.
We're facing the imminent landfall of Ian in short order here in the southwest part of Florida. The storm is slated to come ashore south of Tampa, where I'm standing right now. All morning long, this area has been battered by heavy rain and heavy winds, and it's only getting more and more intense as the day goes along. The conditions have been getting worse. Over the course of the morning, the storm was clocked at having 155-mile-an-hour winds. That's Category 4, but it's 2 miles an hour less than a Category 5 storm, so it underwent rapid intensification overnight. The National Hurricane Center said that the storm surge in a place like Port Charlotte, south of here, is worse than they predicted. 12 to 18 feet of storm surge now expected in that area. That means it's going to be catastrophic where the storm comes ashore. And then this is going to be a long road. The storm, once it comes ashore, is expected to slow down. It will dump tons of rain. The mayor of Tampa saying this area could still get 20 inches of rain before all is said and done. The storm will continue to dump rain over the central portion of Florida, like Orlando, before going out to the East Coast and causing more storm surge all the way up to Jacksonville. So officials say it's too late to get out. For people who have remained in evacuation zones, it's best for them just to stay home and ride it out and hope for the best. That's a story from Tampa. I'm Chris Pallone, NBC News.
And we just received some brand new video into the newsroom from Tampa. Check this out right here. Water once stood here in parts of Tampa Bay, but as Hurricane Ian is approaching the area, water from Tampa Bay and other bodies of water have been completely sucked out. Forecasters say wind gusts from the storm could be as much as 190 miles per hour. Just a massive storm that seems to be just gaining in strength. And we do have a look inside the eye of the storm, obviously a lot different than on the ground around that eye. The 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron flew a mission into Hurricane Ian to collect data on the storm. We will continue to bring you any late-breaking developments out of Florida throughout the day, and it is too early to tell if this hurricane will affect us here in the days ahead, but so far we are seeing a bit of unrelated rain. Meteorologist Hannah Evans has the latest for us from the Weather Center.
We are not seeing heavy rain like we did see the past few days. We're just seeing a few scattered showers, and we do look to dry out by tonight. So taking a look now at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. At this point, just a few scattered showers. Otherwise, it is mostly cloudy, breezy, and it will remain on the cooler side for today. And the good news is that this unsettled weather we have been seeing does come to an end tonight into tomorrow. So tomorrow and Friday, we are looking at sunshine coming back in. High temperatures just in the 50s tomorrow, but we do look to warm up heading into Friday with high temperatures in the low 60s. I did want to point out, though, Thursday into Friday, there is the chance for our next round of frost. So rain does continue today, but we do look to dry out tonight for drier weather coming back in for tomorrow, along with sunshine. And even looking ahead for the weekend, it will warm up a little bit with a mix of clouds and sun, so it looks pretty nice thus far. But for today, we are tracking still a few showers, otherwise cloudy, breezy, and highs just in the upper 50s. And I will be talking about the dry weather and the weekend forecast coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. A bit of rain here in our area isn't stopping the many folks from taking.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are tracking just a few showers this afternoon, along with cloudy skies and cooler weather today, but we do see the sun return tomorrow. Let's take a look now at the Cavie Tower camera. Overlooking the Mohawk Valley, we are seeing more clouds than sun, but some areas are seeing a few peaks of sunshine. It will remain unsettled today, but we do look to dry out tonight with sun returning tomorrow. So taking a look now at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, we are really starting to dry out. We are tracking just a few showers moving through the Mohawk Valley towards the southeast at this point. And once this continues to move through and all moves through, we will be dry, which looks to be tonight. We are also seeing breezy conditions coming out of the north, so it is a little bit cooler in our air today with high temperatures just expected to reach the upper 50s. According to our sky watchers, all of us are in the 50s here this noon. Just 52 degrees in Old Forge, 58 degrees in Mohawk and in Clinton. And once again, the high temperatures today will remain right near 60, which is below average for this time of year. And it is going to remain cool tomorrow, but we look to warm up for the weekend. So if you did want to spend some time outside, I would say yes to later on today. Once all this rain clears out, which looks to be by this evening, it should be dry from that point out. And then heading into Thursday, we will remain dry. The sun looks to return, so I would say yes for Thursday. And we even warm up a little bit more on Friday with some sunshine. So I would say yes for Thursday and for Friday. The only thing about Thursday and Friday is overnight Thursday into Friday morning is our next chance to likely see some frost. Overnight lows are going to be just above freezing and in the mid-30s, so that looks to be our next chance of frost for this year. Overnight Thursday into Friday, getting pretty chilly at night and looks to be pretty chilly Friday morning. But we do warm up for the weekend, a mix of sun and clouds for both Saturday Saturday and Sunday, but we remain dry for both days with high temperatures in the low to mid 60s. So for the rest of the day, we are just seeing a few lingering showers, but that looks to clear out and dry out by this evening, and clouds will start to decrease overnight tonight with overnight lows in the mid 40s. We will start tomorrow mostly cloudy and in the 40s, but clouds will make way for sunshine. High temperatures are just going to be in the upper 50s, so another chilly day ahead tomorrow, but at least we are seeing sunshine. And tomorrow overnight into Friday, that is our next chance for frost with overnight lows in the mid 30s. Friday, it gets a little bit warmer with partly cloudy skies and dry conditions with highs in the low 60s. So as for today, we are tracking breezy conditions, still a few showers lingering, and cooler weather with highs just in the upper 50s. And tonight we will drop into the mid 40s and start to see clouds decrease, and we will dry out. So tomorrow the sun looks to come back in, but we remain on the chilly side with highs in the upper 50s. We will start to warm up on Friday and into the weekend with a pretty nice weekend ahead. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Ukrainian leaders say Russia is the cause of an act of... Welcome back. All eyes are on Florida this morning as residents brace for Hurricane Ian. Washington is watching as well. President Biden is pledging federal assistance to those in need, while FEMA and the Pentagon are at the ready with supplies, personnel, and the National Guard to provide support. We will get a full report from Florida on that in just a bit. But first, it's too early to tell if the path of Ian will impact us in any way, but we're seeing some scattered showers here in central New York today, unrelated to Ian. Meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us now from the Weather Center with more.
But we are looking to dry out, and we will dry out tonight with sunshine returning tomorrow. Let's take a look now at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Once again, seeing some scattered showers moving towards the southeast at this point. We are dry in north of the Mohawk Valley at this time, and we do look to fully dry out by this evening. The sunshine comes in for the next few days, and even over the weekend, it is looking pretty nice. For tomorrow, we still will be on the cooler side, kind of like today, with partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 50s. And as for Friday, we will get a little bit warmer. We will be in the 60s with sunshine, but I did want to point out that Thursday night into Friday is our next chance for some frost with those overnight lows. So for today, the rain does look to continue, but we do dry out tonight with drier weather coming in for tomorrow, along with improving weather. And the weekend is looking nice as well with warmer weather and a mix of sun and clouds. But as for today, seeing more clouds than sun, a few showers, breezy and chilly, and I will be talking about the dry weather in the weekend coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. 5
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are starting to dry out at this point, but still seeing a few scattered showers lingering around. We will really dry out for tomorrow. So let's take a look now at the Cavity Tower camera overlooking the Mohawk Valley. We are seeing more clouds than sun, but the sun is really starting to peek out here for this afternoon and in areas that are drying out. So on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, at this point we are seeing these showers moving towards the southeast. They are just a few scattered lingering showers, but by this evening we do look completely dry with a few peaks of sunshine. This is all due to this a cold front is moving through at this point, and the showers are moving along with it. But we are seeing breezy conditions coming out of the north as well as cooler air for today. According to our sky watchers for this noon, we are all in the 50s, which is below average for this time of year. We have 52 degrees in Old Forge, 54 degrees in Cassville, and 57 degrees in Cooperstown. The high temperature looks to reach right near 60, so we will remain on the cooler side for today. And if you did want to spend some time outside, I would say later on after all the showers clear out, we will be dry at that point, so that would be a good time. It is just going to be a little bit chilly and breezy today. Tomorrow the sun returns once again on the cooler side with highs just in the 50s, but overall seeing sunshine, a nice fall day. And for Friday, we will warm up a little bit more into the 60s, and we will continue to see sunshine. So a couple of nice days coming up to spend outside. And the only thing about Thursday into Friday is that Thursday overnight into Friday, it's going to get very cool with overnight lows just above and freezing and in the mid 30s. So that is our next chance to possibly see some frost Thursday overnight into Friday morning. But looking looking ahead to the weekend, we do warm up even more. For Saturday and Sunday, we are going to be seeing a mix of sun and clouds, but overall it is going to remain dry with highs in the low to mid 60s. But for the rest of today, we will continue to dry out, just seeing a few scattered showers lingering. By this evening, a few peaks of sunshine along with dry conditions, but it is going to remain on the cooler side with highs right near 60 and breezy conditions. Tonight, we will start to see a decrease in cloud cover, and those clouds will continue to decrease into the afternoon tomorrow. Highs are just going to be in the upper 50s, and it is going to be a little bit breezy once again tomorrow, but the sun comes back out for the day. Heading into Friday, that is our next chance for frost. Thursday and overnight into Friday, it gets pretty chilly, but on Friday we warm up even more with highs in the low 60s and partly cloudy skies. But for the rest of the day, just seeing a few showers still lingering. It is going to remain breezy with highs in the upper 50s, and tonight a low in the mid 40s. Clouds will start to decrease as we do dry out tonight. So tomorrow the sun makes a return. It is going to remain cooler with highs in the upper 50s, but we really start to warm up for the weekend with a dry and a pretty nice weekend ahead. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. One of the givens when a hurricane comes ashore, especially one as powerful as Ian, is the loss of electricity. Power company managers in Florida have pre-staged teams in place ready to respond to what could be a devastating blow to the electrical system. NBC's Kerry Sanders is in the hurricane target zone where Ian will become the first ever test of a new way to power your home if the storm knocks it out.
Mass evacuations as Hurricane Ian approaches can mean getting stuck in standstill traffic while still trying to escape the storm. And hitting the road with an electric car can come with added challenges. Florida alone has 200,000 EVs on the road, with that number expected to double by 2030. Some require recharging every 150 to 2. The trip from Tampa to Miami would require at least one approximate 40-minute stop to charge. On that route, there were only a handful of so-called fast chargers for non-Teslas, like Anthony Grandy's car.
This car that I have would have a problem. The infrastructure is not quite up to where it needs to be.
Without more chargers, electric car drivers could find themselves stranded on the road.
There is a fear factor out there. That's the one thing that comes up when people ask about the vehicle itself is, don't you fear going, on a long trip?
There are plans to build a national network of charging stations in the infrastructure law signed last year. But they won't come as quickly as the hurricane. Still, electric also means new solutions on the horizon. It looks like any other truck, but with the storm bearing down, this all-electric Ford F-150 is facing its first real-world test at this home in Babcock Ranch, Florida. If Hurricane Ian knocks out power here, with the truck's power cable connected, all that's needed is one throw of a switch. And now?
Now the house is powered off the truck.
That simple.
That simple.
As we watch, the power takes but seconds to engage.
You can power your house for 3 to 10 days. That's huge.
Did you say 10 days?
3 to 10 days, yes.
It's just the latest effort to make this community more resilient in the face of climate change. Babcock Ranch gets most of its power from a 700,000 panel solar farm.
I see the panels powering the house powering the car, and then eventually the car powering the house.
One town's vision for the future of sustainable energy. Meanwhile, another charging challenge, cell phones, essential to staying in touch during a storm. Keeping them charged can be life-saving. Some useful hurricane tips, an external battery, or a laptop to charge a phone. Make sure it's topped off. Use the low power mode. Skip battery drains like phone calls, online games, and social media. Texting is your best way to stay in touch.
NBC's Kerry Sanders reporting from Florida. Stay with us. We are back with more news right after this.
But throughout the day, we felt the effects of this storm in its outer bands. At times, the rain coming down very heavy, the wind gusts picking up, and then other times the rain stopping and the gusts dying down. Officials thought as late as a day or two ago that this area would take a direct hit, the first major hurricane to hit Tampa in more than 100 years. But with a quick turn to the east, the storm is now centered in an area south of here down towards Fort Myers and also Sanibel Island. That area is getting pounded with extreme storm surge, life-changing storm surge, life-threatening storm surge, heavy rain, high winds, and this will be a long haul for the state of Florida overall. We expect the storm to continue to move slowly towards this area here in Tampa, but then it will cut across the Florida peninsula. It will dump heavy rain in the Orlando area, causing flooding and trees and power lines down. And then it will go out to the East Coast, heading out towards Daytona, going out to the Atlantic Ocean, and even causing storm surge on the eastern side of the storm up towards Jacksonville. It's going to be a very long 24 to 48 hours, and then the damage assessment will begin. There are crews pre-positioned throughout the state, electric crews, crews from FEMA. They're bringing with them water, meals, and the ability to restore electricity when that is needed. But we are still just in the beginning of this as Ian comes ashore. In Tampa, I'm Chris Pallone. Now back to you.
And thanks to a perfect storm of unanticipated events, 2 Utica natives visiting different parts of Florida find themselves together in Ian's track.
And for one, it was a family wedding. For the other, a memorable anniversary trip crashed by Ian. News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris spoke to them as Ian struck.
Jolene, I've never seen something like this in my life.
Utica native Lisa Piazza Dillon and her husband have had a condo on Marco Island since 2009. They normally spend winters here, but came down for a family wedding, and Lisa couldn't come back to Central New York with her husband last week because she had COVID and couldn't travel.
It's very active, and high tide's going to be it. I'm going to cry because I'm like really sick over it. The high tide is at 3:21. And, you know, you just worry about all the other people that are here that can't get to a second floor.
This guy you know from our traffic and road project interviews. He works for the state DOT and wins the most memorable anniversary trip award. Jimmy Piccola and his wife evacuated from Captiva Island, then Fort Myers, and wound up sticking it out with 3+ decade family friend Lisa on Marco Island.
That sidewalk you think looks like a sidewalk, that's the seawall.
Yeah, that's our seawall.
Yeah.
So usually it's 45 feet below that, the water.
What's scary about that is at the time of this video, they were still about 4 hours from high tide. They brought furniture upstairs, filled buckets with water so they could flush toilets if they lose power, and stocked up on snacks. In short supply, sleep.
I went to bed at midnight. I slept till 1, got up, watched the news.
The news coverage is all hurricane all the time.
They just changed clothes and came back on the air. And they've been there, no commercials, nothing.
What looks like a pond in front of the condo complex is the entry. Normally, there's no water there. It's creeping up with high tide still hours away.
The water is our driveway.
A terrifying time made less so thanks to friends who are like family.
Thank God Jimmy is here. I'm really thankful. I mean, I'm sad for them, but it would have been scary going through this alone.
Oh, wow, of course we're praying for them tonight.
I know, and I feel I have to mention, she is honestly one of the nicest people you would ever meet. She's the one that was nice to everybody in high school. And as we all know from our dealings with him, Jimmy is just a doll. So I'm glad they're together, the three of them.
Jimmy made his way to help her, too.
Yeah, I mean, they did. They had a lot of grunt work, you know, filling the buckets, filling the bathtub, bringing the furniture upstairs. So it'll be a good anniversary story down the road, we hope, with minimal damage.
Down the road. Now we want to bring in meteorologist Eric Gage. Where is Marco Island compared to all of this behind us?
Yeah, so Marco Island is on the west coast, exactly where the worst path of this storm currently is. In fact, taking a look at the radar and satellite, you can see that the areas between Naples, as well as Marco Island right here, as well as Fort Myers, got the worst of the storm surge that usually happens on the southeastern part of the hurricane path. Now, the heavier rainfall is up towards the north currently, but once again, the heaviest rainfall is to the south. So some info about this storm, 2 miles per hour shy of reaching Category 5. So a very strong hurricane. It strengthened very quickly last night. In fact, one of the strongest hurricanes to even reach landfall in Florida. The biggest concern, however, it's moving very slow, 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's That's causing the biggest concern to be some excessive rainfall, especially in Florida. Now, the current path has it going back out towards the Atlantic and then moving inland towards the coast once again, hitting South Carolina. And the biggest question is, will Ian affect central New York? Now, we're taking a look at one of the models looking ahead towards next week. You can see it's slowly weakening and then moving out towards the south. This is still a long range, so it's a big hit or miss on whether it will in fact affect us for next week. Now, currently, weather looking pretty calm in our area. Is a live look at a Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. A few lingering showers this morning, make way for dry conditions this evening. And in fact, the dry weather does continue not only for this evening, but as well as the next several days. Temperatures cooling down into the 50s tonight. I'll be tracking your full weekend forecast, including what to expect for rainfall the next 4 days coming up. Back over to you.
As Hurricane Ian slams into Florida's Gulf Coast, President assuring residents help is available. We'll take a look at the federal response to the storm, new at 5:30.
We're following breaking news into the News Channel 2 newsroom. A man from Marcy pleaded guilty to mailing a threatening letter to a woman in Ballston.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good evening and welcome back. We are tracking a few lingering showers, but other than that, mostly dry conditions for this evening. And dry weather is the story not only for tonight, but for the next several days. Start out by taking a live look at our Cavity Tower camera overlooking the Mohawk Valley. Seeing some overcast skies, a few mixture of sun and clouds this evening. The clouds look to be in our area not only for tonight, but as well as tomorrow morning before sunshine looks to be the story as we head into tomorrow evening. Here's a live look at a Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Once again, a few lingering light showers trailing from a cold front. This will be the story for the next several hours, but after that, dry weather behind this, and we're expecting seasonable fall weather on the cool side. In fact, taking our 5-day temperature trend outlook, we can see for today as well as tomorrow, temperatures cooling down with highs only reaching the upper 50s. But after that, warm weather is the story. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, warm weather relatively in the mid 60s to lower 60s, with plenty of sunshine for Friday and Saturday, increasing chances for rain showers and clouds as we head into Sunday. Now, heading into Friday night, there's a chance for some frost advisories in effect for northern Herkimer County. This is due to some low temperatures falling into the 30s, and more info on that coming up in just a second. Now, taking a look at our radar and satellite composite, there's a cold front that's slowly moving its way down towards the south, and a high pressure is building in from the west. That means dry weather, more seasonable temperatures in the 50s and 60s, and along with that, beautiful fall weather in the forecast. A bit on the breezy side, but plenty of sunshine in store for tomorrow as we're increasing chances to see some cloud cover from a stationary front pushed up by Hurricane Ian. So on our Skycast for the next several days, tonight cooling down into the low 50s to upper 40s with a chance of mostly cloudy skies to partly cloudy skies. Bit on the breezy side tomorrow, decreasing clouds throughout the day, highs reaching the upper 50s, and plenty of sunshine makes way for very chilly temperatures in early Friday morning. You can see those lows falling into the mid to low 30s. Once again, there is a frost advisory in effect for northern Herkimer County in effect for Friday morning. After that, more warmer temperatures make way for plenty of sunshine, but still some upper-level clouds in the forecast for Friday. You can see temperatures warming up into the upper 50s to low 60s, and increasing chances for rain showers. Heading to Sunday, we're keeping an eye on Hurricane Ian on the path of what the remnants will expect to see as we head into this weekend. So for this evening, temperatures in the 50s, mixture of clouds and sunshine, a bit on the breezy side as well. Tonight, a low 45 degrees with decreasing clouds. Tomorrow, decreasing clouds once again, high 57 degrees, a little bit less breezy, but still noticeable. Our 7-day forecast, once again, after rain showers, seeing mostly dry weather for the next several days. We're still keeping an eye on the path of, once again, Hurricane Ian and where to expect it. And, well, for right now, the current trends is we're not seeing any additional rainfall, at least for the near future.
All right, Eric, thank you.
And as meteorologists continue to track Ian, a hurricane hunter who flew into the storm says he's never seen so much lightning in the eye. This is a satellite image from yesterday. Look at all of those flashes. Wow. And NASA provided updated pictures of Hurricane Ian from space today. This is amazing. The images were taken from cameras aboard the International Space Station. Hurricane Ian remains an extremely strong category 4 hurricane, just 2 miles per hour short of being upgraded to a category 5.
So scary. Tonight on NBC Nightly News, we'll find Lester Holt inside the storm zone in Sarasota, Florida. Hurricane winds again just shy of being a 5. From afar, we ask, why didn't people leave their homes? They're going to tell us at 6:30 here on WKTV NBC. Coming up, a chief meteorologist tracking Ian for NBC News got his education here.
Also tonight,
Hurricane Ian plows into Florida's Gulf Coast. President Biden is reassuring residents that the federal government is ready to help and urging those in the storm's path to obey all warnings.
the director of FEMA said today that the agency has moved the personnel and resources in place to respond immediately. Alice Barr reports.
As Hurricane Ian slams Florida with all the power of a Category 4 megastorm.
The streets are flooding, and it's coming in fast and furious.
Washington is hearing the calls for help. President Biden coordinating with local leaders and Florida's governor.
I made it clear to the governor and the mayors that the federal government is ready to help in every single way possible.
The storm response will be a big test for the president, and he's directed federal agencies across the government to surge resources to the region. FEMA pre-staged millions of liters of water and meals, as well as cots, generators, and fuel. And hundreds of FEMA workers are already on the ground, ready for search and rescue.
As the storm passes and we see where the needs are, we are just going to continue to move people in.
Florida's governor activated 5,000 National Guard troops, with the Pentagon saying more are on standby in neighboring states as emergency responders and volunteers from across the country stream in with mountains of supplies, including hot meals for those in need.
We'll set up a tiny village about the size of 2 football fields when it's said and done.
A Herculean response to match the power of a hurricane expected to leave catastrophic damage. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And as he tracks Ian, we're putting the spotlight on MSNBC Chief Meteorologist Bill Cairns, a SUNY Oneonta grad.
Bill graduated from the school in 1996. His first TV gig was in Kansas, then to North Carolina, then to Maine, then to Orlando, which means he knows Florida weather well. Cairns' first time on national television was during Hurricane Katrina. Now, to another meteorologist who graduated from SUNY Oneonta, we turn to Eric Gage.
I was going to say that. I was like, well, I graduated from SUNY Oneonta as well, so...
We're cool.
Good tie-in, yes,
I'm the oddball out here.
So after some of the hurricane that's going on in Florida, in our area we're tracking mostly dry conditions. In fact, taking a live look at our Cooperstown camera, peaks of sunshine and otherwise a mostly cloudy day, as well as some rain showers still moving throughout our area. Other than that, mostly dry conditions. Current temperature 58 degrees at the Griffith Park in Rome, with dew points in the 40s. So a more mild and fall day in store for us as we head into this evening. And once again, a live look at a Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Mostly dry conditions, just a few isolated showers and sprinkles in the forecast. That looks to be weakening as we head into tonight, and mostly dry weather is in the horizon as we head into the next several days. So once again, showers ending tonight, dry weather tomorrow. Not only that, but a nice weekend is ahead with temperatures warming up into the low to mid 60s before tonight, cooling down to the 40s. Even chillier weather is in the forecast heading into Thursday night into Friday. Details on that are coming up. Back over to you.
Happening right now, the mayor of the city of Rome is presenting her budget proposal to the Common Council. It's the 6th year in a row with no property tax increase. Also, one of the givens when a hurricane comes ashore, especially one as powerful as Ian, is the loss of electricity. Kerry Sanders is in the hurricane target zone where Ian will become the first ever test of electric vehicles.
Mass evacuations as Hurricane Ian approaches can mean getting stuck in standstill traffic while still trying to escape the storm. And hitting the road with an electric car can come with added challenges. Florida alone has 200,000 EVs on the road, with that number expected to double by 2030. Some require recharging every 150 to 200 miles. The trip from Tampa to Miami would require at least one approximate 40-minute stop to charge. On that route, there were only a handful of so-called fast chargers for non-Teslas, like Anthony Grandy's car.
This car that I have would have a problem. The infrastructure is not quite up to where it needs to be.
Without more chargers, electric car drivers could find themselves stranded on the road.
There is a fear factor out there. That's the one thing that comes up when people ask about the vehicle itself is, don't you fear going, on a long trip?
There are plans to build a national network of charging stations in the infrastructure law signed last year. But they won't come as quickly as the hurricane. Still, electric also means new solutions on the horizon. It looks like any other truck, but with the storm bearing down, this all-electric Ford F-150 is facing its first real-world test at this home in Babcock Ranch, Florida. If Hurricane Ian knocks out power here, with the truck's power cable connected, all that's needed is one throw of a switch.
And now?
Now the house is powered off the truck.
That's simple.
That's simple.
As we watch, the power takes but seconds to engage.
You can power your house for 3 to 10 days. That's huge.
Did you say
with
10
that,
days?
3 to 10 days, yes.
It's just the latest effort to make this community more resilient in the face of climate change. Babcock Ranch gets most of its power from a 700,000 panel solar farm.
I see the panels powering the house powering the car, and then eventually the car powering the house.
One town's vision for the future of sustainable energy. Meanwhile, another charging challenge. Cell phones, essential to staying in touch during a storm. Keeping them charged can be life-saving. Some useful hurricane tips: an external battery or a laptop to charge a phone. Make sure it's topped off. Use the low power mode. Skip battery drains like phone calls, online games, and social media. Texting is your best way to stay in touch.
1.3 million homes without power in Florida right now. It is 58 degrees atop Smith Hill. Your full Storm Tracker 2 weather forecast is next. Thanks for watching the Live at 5 News Hour.
Central New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good evening and welcome back. After some lingering showers this morning, dry weather is on the horizon not only for this evening or tonight, but for the next several days as we look ahead towards this weekend. To start out by taking a look at today's almanac. Today's high 62, just a little bit below average. Average for this time of year is 65 degrees for the high. We are above average, almost about an inch for rainfall this month. 4.75 inches of rainfall at the Griffith Park in Rome. Average for this month, 3.88 inches. And in fact, taking a live look at our Cavity Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica and the Mohawk Valley, we're seeing some cloud cover, peaks of sunshine, some beautiful rays moving through the Mohawk Valley right now. And in fact, the story for this evening as well, a few light sprinkles moving its way outside of the central New York area for this evening. We are tracking mostly dry conditions for tonight as well as the next several days. A mild day across central New York today. Skywatchers checking in 49 on the cooler side at Old Forge, 52 in West Leiden, 58 degrees in Clinton, 57 degrees in New Hartford, as well as Mohawk, and 54 degrees in Barneveld. The Southern Valley's temperatures on the cool side as well, 56 degrees in Morris, 55 in Hartwick and Cooperstown, 54 in Milford, as well as 52 degrees checking in Sequoia. A heads up for Thursday night into Friday. There is a frost advisory in effect for northern Herkimer County. Temperatures overnight into Thursday into Friday could reach the low 30s, even upper 20s in higher elevations. So if you have any outdoor plants, now is the time to at least prepare to cover them as we head into Thursday and Friday. This is all due to a high pressure system building in from the west as we head into the next several days. This will drag in some cooler Canadian air as we head into Thursday as well as Friday, increasing your chances for much more cooler weather, as well as plenty of sunshine as we head into Friday morning and heading into increasing cloud cover as a stationary front moves its way up towards the north as we head into Friday and Saturday. So we're in a skycast for the next several days. Tonight, cooling down into the low 50s to upper 40s with a mixture of clouds and clear skies. Tomorrow, starting out with breezy conditions, clouds make way for plenty of sunshine, temperatures warming up into the upper 50s to low 60s. The big story, cooling down Thursday night into Friday, temperatures cooling down into the mid 30s, even low 30s, 32 degrees in Inlet for the low for Thursday morning into Friday, and heading into Friday morning, temperatures warming up into the mid 50s to upper 50s as we head into Friday afternoon before additional cloud cover moves in from a stationary front moving just north of Hurricane Ian. So for this evening, temperatures cooling down into the 50s with clouds, a mixture of clouds and sun. Tonight, cooling down into the 40s with decreasing clouds. And tomorrow, high 57 degrees with once again decreasing clouds. However, sunshine is in the forecast not only for tomorrow, but as well as Friday, mostly sunny skies. Clouds start to build in Saturday and Sunday. We're keeping an eye on the path of Hurricane Ian and the remnants of Hurricane Ian. We'll have updates on the rainfall forecast as we head into the next several days.
Hurricane Ian is a massive storm. This is what it looks like from space. Even central New Yorkers that are in Florida are feeling the effects of what is described to be catastrophic.
Absolutely. Right now, the winds are 130 miles per hour. It is a Category 4 hurricane, and we're still tracking it because it's still pounding the coast of Florida, moving inland right now. Let's get right over to meteorologist Eric Gage. He is tracking where it's going and what's going to happen next.
Yes, we are continuing to track the Hurricane Ian right now, and in fact, this is a live look at Hurricane Ian on our radars right now. We can still see it is producing plenty of wind right now. In fact, this is producing still some Category 4 winds. In fact, taking a look at the tropical tracker, as you heard before, winds 130 miles per hour. The big issue is it's moving very slow, moving about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and that spells concern for plenty of rainfall as well as plenty of excessive rainfall outlook as we head into the next several hours. Now, it's looking to be forecast to move out towards the Atlantic and decrease into a tropical storm and eventually a tropical depression as it moves into the Carolinas by Saturday. And the big news we're trying to figure out right now is, will Ian affect central New York? Now, currently, taking a look at our latest models, it looks to be stalling in the Carolinas, looking at mostly dry conditions over this could change depending on exactly where the path of this hurricane takes over the next several days. Now, currently in our area, we're tracking mostly dry conditions and plenty of dry conditions for the next several days. This evening, cooling down into the 50s, plenty of clouds and sunshine. We'll break down what to expect for temperatures of the next several days coming up. Back over to you.
You know, so often we're hearing from people about why didn't they just leave? And we're to hear from those people tonight on NBC Nightly News. That's at 6:30 here on WKTV NBC. That's on one hand. On the other hand, we're hearing from Utica natives who have made the trip to Florida. One being a wedding they had to go to, and the other on an anniversary trip that, you guessed it, Ian has now crashed. We were fortunate enough to speak with them today via Zoom and experience through the phone, you know, what they are living through right now. We talk about it, you know, during severe snowstorms, and how to prepare and stay off the roads, and is your house, you know, ready to go? But, you know, to watch them, you know, fill buckets of water, move the furniture to the second floor, you know, it was just unbelievable. And
we're going to hear right now Jolene Ferris. She talked to all of them involved. Here's her story.
Utica native Lisa Piazza Dillon spends winters on Marco Island, but she was there now for a family wedding. She couldn't come back home last week with her husband because she had COVID and couldn't travel. Ian is coming to keep her company.
We had to get buckets and buckets of water because if we can't flush toilets, how do you go to the bathroom? Right. Like all these things that you don't think about.
Where we were on Captiva Island is taking the direct hit from the,
you might recognize this guy from all of our interviews about road projects. Jim Piccola works for the state DOT. He and his wife win the Most Memorable Anniversary Trip Award. They were evacuated from Captiva Island, then Fort Myers, then wound up toughing it out with their friend of more than 3 decades on Marco Island.
And it comes in bands. Like all of a sudden you'll get like a little break, and like the rain will stop and the wind, and then it picks right up again with the rain and the wind. So
still 4 hours from high tide at the time of this video, the front of Lisa's condo complex was already flooded.
The water is our driveway.
Smokehouse Bay in the back of the house, sucked out by the hurricane last night, was back in full force today, seconds from pouring over.
That sidewalk you think looks like a sidewalk, that's the seawall.
Yeah, that's our seawall.
Yeah.
So usually it's 45 feet below that, the water. And look at it, it's like sideways. Look at it go.
The condos are built to withstand a hurricane, and they're hoping any damage will be minimal. It's still terrifying, especially if the water starts rushing into the condo. Sleep is rare. The news is plentiful.
They just changed clothes and came back on the air. And they've been there, no commercials, nothing.
These 3 Central New Yorkers are at least grateful they can brave the storm together. Jolene Ferris, News Channel 2.
Absolutely amazing what they're going through right now, and our thoughts and prayers are with everybody who is feeling the effects of Ian. The Ride for Missing Children wrapped up its 24.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good evening and welcome back. We are tracking mostly cloudy skies to a few peaks of sunshine as rain showers are moving outside of our area. And we're tracking not only dry conditions for tonight, but for dry conditions as we head into the weekend itself. Start out by taking a look at our Cavity Tower camera overlooking the Mohawk Valley. Once again, mostly overcast skies, a few peaks of sunshine as we head into this evening. Here's a live look at our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2. Top of the radar, still seeing mostly dry conditions. A few light showers have gradually moved their way outside of our area this evening, and we're tracking mostly dry conditions as we head into tonight as well as tomorrow. Skywatchers checking in this evening. 49 in Old Forge, 55 in Norway, 53 Curtis Corners, 50 degrees in Inlet, 57 in New Hartford, as well as Mohawk and the Southern Valleys. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s, 56 degrees in Whitesboro, 53 in Cassville, 59 degrees in Paynes Hollow, 55 in Cooperstown and Hartwick. A heads up for Thursday night and into Friday. There is a freeze watch in effect for northern Herkimer County. This is due to temperatures overnight Thursday and into Friday, with lows reaching the upper 20s to low 30s. Just a heads up if you are in some higher elevations in northern Herkimer County Thursday night and into Friday. Radar and satellite composite shows a cold front slowly moving its way and weakening as it heads its way out towards the east. However, there's a high pressure system building in from the west, so bring dry conditions as well as much cooler temperatures as it drags in some cooler Canadian air over an area with winds from the north heading into tomorrow. Heading into Friday as well as Saturday, increasing cloud cover mainly on the high level side as a stationary front pushes its way north from Hurricane Ian. So on our Skycast for tonight, cooling down into the 50s and even upper 40s in areas that are seeing more clear conditions and clouds. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow make way for mostly sunny skies by the evening. Temperatures warming up into the upper 50s to low 60s. A bit on the breezy side as well. Winds coming from the north between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Heading into Friday morning, late Thursday night, seeing temperatures cooling down into the low 30s, even upper 20s, 32 degrees inlet, 30 degrees in Boonville for the forecast for Thursday and into Friday. Still a chilly night in store for Thursday into Friday. After that, warmer temperatures, increasing high-level clouds. Still expect to see plenty of sunshine as we head into Friday afternoon. Still seeing mostly dry conditions as well as we head into this weekend ahead. So for this evening, temperatures in the 50s, clouds, mixture of clouds and sunshine. Tonight, low 45 degrees with decreasing clouds. Similar story for tomorrow, a high 57 degrees, and dry weather is in the forecast for the next several days. We are still keeping an eye on Hurricane Ian, the remnants of Hurricane Ian, and we have more updates on the forecast over the next several days and what to expect for rainfall as we head into this weekend.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Hurricane Ian was a monster Category 4 storm when it made landfall on Florida's southwestern coast this afternoon, causing devastation as it barrels across the state. We're going to take a live look now at Orlando, Florida right now. This is in the path of what is now a Category 2 storm. Residents dealing with mass flooding, power outages, and strong wind gusts. And that's before the storm hit. Gloria Pazmino is in Tampa with the latest on this storm.
Hurricane Ian slamming Florida's Gulf Coast with near Category 5 strength, causing life-threatening flooding.
Overwhelmingly, it's been that surge that has been the biggest issue and the flooding.
The monster storm making landfall with winds of 150 miles per hour.
I've been here since the mid-70s. This is absolutely by far the worst storm I have ever seen. I can tell you, I'm looking at the businesses downtown that are all flooded, windows blown out.
Even before the worst of the storm hit, people in Fort Myers already seeing mass flooding.
The storm surge is very significant. We're actually seeing cars and boats float down the street.
Hurricane-force winds bringing down power lines. Ahead of the storm, long lines on interstates as residents scramble to evacuate. Some choosing to stay behind and ride it out.
I've got my safe room ready. We have a second bathroom with no windows. I've got a bed in there. I've got the dog food, water. The bathtub is full.
Governor Ron DeSantis submitting a request for a major disaster declaration for all 67 counties, which allows the federal government to send funds for cleanup. In Tampa, I'm Gloria Pazmino reporting.
3 Central New Yorkers are hunkering down on Marco Island bracing for Ian. One was there for a family wedding and couldn't leave last week due to COVID. The other, well, two of them are turning out to be a very memorable anniversary trip. They've been friends for more than 3 decades. They moved furniture upstairs, filled buckets with water, stocked up on snacks, and their hurricane shutters are secured. We're staying in touch with Lisa Dillon and Jim and Kathy Piccola. More on their story at WKTV.com. Now, for a track of Ian and what we can expect moving forward, let's check in with meteorologist Eric Gage. All right, what do we got? Where is it right now?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, is no longer a major Category 4 hurricane. It's now down to a Category 2. That does not mean there is a potential for some catastrophic situations, including, as you can see, this red and blue right here. This is indicative of heavy rainfall. Already almost close to 20 inches of rainfall has fallen, especially in this area right in between Fort Myers and Tampa. There's been pretty significant rainfall right here. Now, the good news is the areas in Florida as well as Naples are seeing a little bit less rainfall, a little bit less wind, so maybe some rescue workers are able to get in that area right now. But the path right now is currently heading just south of Orlando, but as you can see, some rainfall is currently moving to Orlando right now. And the current path, as you can see, Category 2, still 100-mile-per-hour winds. However, as this pushes up towards the north, this could still be a tropical storm as it pushes inland once again, hitting the South Carolina border and then weakening into a tropical depression as we head into this weekend. Now, keeping an eye on what to expect for this weekend in terms of rainfall. Here's a live look at Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Currently, right now, we are tracking dry conditions across central New York, but that could change this weekend. We're continuing to follow the remnants of Hurricane Ian and what to expect for rainfall this weekend. But right now, currently, things are looking dry as we head into Saturday and Sunday. But for this evening and tonight, low 45 degrees with decreasing clouds, dry weather in the forecast, at least for the next couple of days. We'll be tracking what to expect for that coming up. Back over to you.
All right, Eric, thank you. Join Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Hannah Evans at sunrise for the latest at 5 a.m. Then on Today, live coverage from across the state of Florida. NBC News' Lester Holt reports from Bradenton with live reports from Sarasota, Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa. Again, that's tomorrow at 7 o'clock. New tonight, a Clinton man is facing felony charges after he drove his mini.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good evening and welcome back. Recapping today's weather, starting out with today's almanac. The high for the day, 62 degrees, the low 52 degrees, a little bit below average for the high, a little bit above for the low. And taking a look at our rainfall this month, after some rain showers this morning, we're about an inch above average for this time of year for rainfall, especially for this month. So definitely a rainy September. And other than that, dry conditions are in the forecast for the near future. Starting out by taking a live look at our Cavity Tower camera. Things are looking quiet across central New York, as well as our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Mostly dry conditions. We can't rule out an isolated lake effect shower or sprinkle tonight. However, conditions do dry out quickly as we head throughout the day tomorrow, as well as the next several days. We're tracking our next chance of rain showers to be arriving not only from some of the weak disturbances, but also from the remnants of Hurricane Ian later on next week or this weekend. Around the clock for tomorrow, starting out temperatures on the cool side in the 40s, warming up into the mid to upper 50s by the afternoon. A cooler fall day in store. Plenty of sunshine by the evening, however, after some mostly cloudy skies gradually diminish. We're tracking, once again, plenty of sunshine as we head into the evening. Here's a heads up for tomorrow night and into Friday morning. There's a frost or freeze watch in effect for northern Herkimer County. Temperatures later on tomorrow night could reach the lower 30s to even upper 20s. So if you have any outdoor plans, or just make sure you're prepared for the cooler temperatures as we head into tomorrow evening or tomorrow night. Radar and satellite composite shows a weakening cold front pushing in to the south. A high-pressure dome moving in from the west, bringing in some cooler Canadian air for tomorrow. A cooler but dry fall day in store with plenty of sunshine. We are tracking our next chance of rain showers, as well as our next chance seeing some additional cloud cover from a stationary front pushed north from Hurricane Ian. This is our next chance of rain showers. Currently, we are trending dry for the weekend, but that could change depending on the strength of Hurricane Ian as it moves into the Atlantic. So for tonight, cooling down into the 40s with a few breaks in the clearing of the clouds. Temperatures warming up into the 50s by tomorrow afternoon. After some mostly cloudy skies, breezy as well. Wind speeds between 5 to 10 miles per hour from the north. Tomorrow night is the big story. Cooling down into the 30s, even in below freezing in some parts of the Adirondacks. 30 degrees in Boonville, 32 degrees in Inlet. Warming up quickly, however, by Friday afternoon. Temperatures warming up into the upper 50s to low 60s. As you can see, increasing cloud cover from that stationary front. We could be seeing additional rain chances possible in the weekend, but we are currently trending dry. So for tonight, a low 45 degrees, decreasing clouds. Similar story for tomorrow, high 57 degrees, wind speeds on the breezy side. Our 7-day forecast, take a look at this. Mostly dry conditions for the next 7 days, still tracking the chance of a shower or two from the remnants of Hurricane Ian heading to Sunday and Monday. No more updates on that coming in the next couple of days.
Jason Powless, thank you for joining us tonight. Hurricane Ian was a monster Category 4 storm when it made landfall in Florida's southwestern coast this afternoon, causing devastation as it barrels across the state. Let's take a live look right now at Orlando, Florida. This is in the path of Ian, which again is now a Category 2 storm. Residents were dealing with mass flooding, power outages, and strong wind gusts, and that's before the storm hit. Gloria Pazmino is in Tampa right now with the latest on the storm.
Hurricane Ian slamming Florida's Gulf Coast with near Category 5 strength, causing life-threatening flooding.
Overwhelmingly, it's been that surge that has been the biggest issue and the flooding.
The monster storm making landfall with winds of 150 miles per hour.
I've been here since the mid-70s. This is absolutely by far the worst storm I have ever seen. I can tell you, I'm looking at the businesses downtown that are all flooded, windows blown out.
Even before the worst of the storm hit, people in Fort Myers already seeing mass flooding.
The storm surge is very significant. We're actually seeing cars and boats float down the street.
Hurricane-force winds bringing down power lines. Ahead of the storm, long lines on interstates as residents scramble to evacuate, some choosing to stay behind and ride it out.
I've got my safe room ready. We have a second bathroom with no windows. I've got a bed in there. I've got the dog food, water. The bathtub is full.
Governor Ron DeSantis submitting a request for a major disaster declaration for all 67 counties, which allows the federal government to send funds for cleanup. In Tampa, I'm Gloria Pazmino reporting.
Now, 3 Central New Yorkers are hunkering down on Marco Island, bracing for Ian. One was there for a family wedding and couldn't leave last week due to COVID. The other 2 are on what is turning out to be a very memorable anniversary trip. They've been friends for more than 3 decades. They moved furniture upstairs, filled buckets with water, stocked up on snacks, and their hurricane shutters are secured. We're staying in touch with Lisa Dillon and Jim and Kathy Piccola. I checked in with Jim Piccola tonight. They're hanging in there. We have more on their story at WKTV.com. Now for a track of Ian and what we can expect moving forward, we check in with meteorologist Eric Gage. What's the very latest?
So latest right now, and as you said before, it was Category 4, barely Category 5 when it hit landfall. Has been weakening into a Category 2. In fact, the breaking news is now a Category 1 hurricane. Okay. So that means 90-mile-per-hour winds right now. Now, the big news, the big concern is heavy rainfall, excessive rainfall. As you can see, this area right here has seen rainfall totals nearing 20 inches of rainfall. That's a lot of rain. And this will continue to move up the coast towards Orlando and even towards Daytona Beach. Even this area alone could see rainfall totals up nearing 15 to 20 inches of rain.
So what are we going to see moving forward after tomorrow morning and up?
Yeah, so tomorrow morning up. So here's what the current path is right now. It's currently Category 1. It's likely to remain a tropical storm heading out into the Atlantic and then pushing back inland towards the Carolinas and eventually weaken into a tropical depression. Now, the news is what can we expect for our area as we head into this weekend? Well, the news is right now it's likely to weaken and then move out towards the east. In fact, taking a live look at Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, DOP the radar. Right now, we're not tracking anything important in terms of the hurricane right now, but still the chances of this developing and remaining in its strength of a hurricane is very little to even none. But still, we could see a shower or two this weekend. We'll have updates to follow in the next couple of days on any updates in the forecast. Now, right now, mostly dry conditions, an isolated shower or two from lake effect, and temperatures tonight cooling down into the 40s. A bit cooler tomorrow night. Those details are coming up. Back over to you.
Eric, thank you. Join Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Hannah Evans at sunrise for the latest at 5 a.m. Then on the Today Show, live coverage from across the state of Florida. NBC News' Lester Holt reports from Bradenton with live reports from Sarasota, Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa. New tonight, a Clinton man facing felony charges after he drove.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening and welcome back. Filling in for Bill this evening. Taking a look at today's almanac, recapping today, a high of 62 degrees, a low of 52, so a little bit below average for the high, a little bit above average for the low. But taking a look at our rainfall totals this month, we're about an inch above average for September, at least when it comes to rainfall. 4.75 inches of rain, so definitely a rainy September so far. And in fact, in our forecast for the next couple of days, we're tracking mostly dry conditions. Here's a live look at our Cavie Tower camera. Things are looking pretty quiet out there in the Mohawk Valley tonight. And here's a live look at a Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Still tracking a few light lake effect sprinkles and showers. This will gradually diminish over the next several hours. We're tracking mostly dry conditions not only for tonight, but also for tomorrow as well as Friday. Still keep an eye on the path of Hurricane Ian and the remnants of Hurricane Ian as we look ahead towards later on this weekend. For tomorrow, though, around the clock, temperatures starting out in the 40s, warming up into the mid to upper 50s by the afternoon. A cooler fall day in store for us tomorrow. A bit on the breezy side, wind speeds between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Along weather grades, still some morning clouds, but that makes way for plenty of sunshine by the evening. Once again, breezy conditions, still a beautiful fall day as we head into tomorrow evening. Just a reminder for tomorrow night and into Friday morning, there is a freeze watch in effect for northern Herkimer County. A bit on the chilly side tomorrow night. Temperatures cool down into the upper 30 or upper 20s to low 30s, especially in higher elevations. Just make sure you are aware for that. If you have any plants, bring them inside. And taking a look at our radar and satellite composite, this is all due to a cold front pushing its way through out towards the east and weakening, and a high pressure dome is moving its way over our area over the next couple of days. This will drag in some Canadian cooler air towards our area from the north for the next couple of days, as well as we're keeping an eye on the stationary front. This is right above Hurricane Ian. This Hurricane Ian is gradually going to be weakening into a tropical storm and eventually a tropical depression, and we're going to keep an eye on how far north this goes. The current trend is mostly dry conditions for the weekend. However, we'll provide updates this next couple of days on what to expect for the rainfall for this weekend. So in our Skycast for tonight, cooling down into the upper 40s to low 50s, mixture of clouds as well as clear conditions. Tomorrow, after mostly cloudy skies, that'll make way for plenty of sunshine, breezy conditions, highs in the upper 50s. The chilly story is for tomorrow night, cooling down into the 30s. You see even possibly below freezing in the North Country, Boonville 30, Inlet 32 degrees. Warming up by Friday afternoon with a mixture of clouds, mainly on the high level. Still expect plenty of sunshine, highs warming up into the upper 50s. So for tonight, a low of 45 degrees, decreasing clouds. Similar story for tomorrow, breezy conditions, wind speeds between 5 to 10 miles per hour. In our 7-day forecast, take a look at this. Mostly dry conditions for the next several days, but there's a chance of rain showers Sunday and into Monday due to Hurricane Ian's remnants. More info on that coming up in the next couple of days, as well as a chance for rainfall on Tuesday.